And we're back with the Skyline Cup. The winner bracket continues with the best of 5 series between Nothing Else to Do and Girls Don't Like You. So, yeah, the team names, they are still wild. We have a best of 5 on our hands, and now we're heading into Cursed Hollow, where on the left side we got Muradin and Dehaka for the blue team. Vala gets played, this time actually with a multi-shot build. So far, when we've seen Vala, it was either focus into an arrow build or the auto attack, so it's the first multi-shot that we're seeing. Hanzo and Anduin to round out the draft, whereas on the side of the red team, we have a Nuburak Mephisto, Brightwing, Alarak, and Chen. So yeah, this is getting a bit wild in terms of team compositions. Girls Don't Like You. They are coming in here with not only the unyielding power for Mephisto, but we also have a Chen in play. I actually really don't know why the girls don't like them. So far, they're at least pulling all the stops. They also have a lot of style, as you can see with the skin and tint that we have for Chen with the War Master here. But yeah, Mephisto is, right from the get-go, Mephisto's just coming in and crushing it. Big damage from him. We had so many good games here already, but let's see what we're going to get from our first game. And Cursed Hollow is obviously always awesome. But yeah, at this point, we have the Panda up at the top. Oh, careful, Muradin. Anduin saving the day here, pulling him out just in the last second. Pandas are kind of awesome. Do you know what you call in Spain a panda that steals things? A thieving panda. It's a pandito! Oh, it's a glorious joke. I absolutely love it. A pandito. I have no idea why I think that's so funny, but it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, we have a pandito up at the top lane that is trying to steal wins from the opponent's team. But yeah, either way. So camps are up. 1 minute mark has passed, and that means that we have a focus on the Bruiser camp from Nothing Else to Do. Over to the right side, Siege Giants are being claimed too. First tribute spawning at the bottom of the map, so usually that means that you're prioritizing this one. Down to the bot lane, we get, for now, Anubarak just pressuring Hanzo a little bit. This is actually one of the things that was always interesting, the way that they are switching lanes up. We had a side laning Tychus the other day, for example. The top lane still pretty much what you would expect with the side laners, Dehaka and Chen going up against each other. I think we are probably going to see a couple of top keg plays here. Vala, on the other hand, she's getting some stacks together here. Currently dealing with one of the camps, but generally speaking, just trying to make her play with the AoE during the team fights. Going straight into the arsenal now, too. Haven't seen a kill yet, but of course, with the first tribute spawning soon, TM, being announced in 10 seconds, we should then get a couple of team fights where they can see how this is going to pan out. Yeah, our boy down here is a little bit low. Needs to be super careful, because if the red team decides that they want to dive on him, then Hanzo could be in real trouble. So nobody around, so good for him. But with the Nuburak on the other side, you got to be careful if you're dropping this low on HP. So he will likely move back top of his hit points and mana pool. But we have a fight in the middle of the map already happening. Anduin trying to get away here. Yeah, Bruiser camps colliding. And the Nuburak is going to be the next target. Mephisto is really bringing the pain. He is really starting to hurt them here. So, oh, but he eats the Storm Bolt and he gets taken down. Great coordination. Absolutely amazing coordination from the blue team. They really struggled with Mephisto and his damage output quite a lot, but then they perfectly coordinated the attack once that he just teleported back. He is at 6,500 damage, the top damage dealer for the red team. No surprise there, of course. And with that, we have Vala just murdered down at the bottom of the map. Yeah, so Vala gets killed. That was a nice blow-up that they had there. Death time is, of course, rather low at this point. But the red team has a good chance to get the first tribute, especially since Dehaka is still at the top, hasn't tunneled yet, could always make that move. Hanzo hasn't even moved down to the bottom of the map yet. They dealt with the middle first, but it also gives them the early level 7. So they have a talent advantage over the opponent. And, well, the Panda is in trouble. Alright, gotta be careful with this one now. Muradin looking for the next Storm Ball. The Tong connects, and Alarak is dead. Nicely done. Chen is also down, and so is Mephisto. Damn, what a bloodbath all of a sudden. Holy macaroni. 4 heroes dead within an instant. Nicely done, but by Nothing Else to Do. Damn, they're crushing it. We now got the gift of the Ox on our Pandito. But that was pretty brutal. They got the tribute, they got 4 kills, they have a level lead, and they have total free reign down to the bottom of the map, where they can now take down that wall. Vala with a Frost Shot here. Frost Shot is in general a very, very popular talent in this tournament. We've seen it with so many different Valas now. With an arrow build, with the multi-shot build now, they really love Frost Shot as an added tool. So, I don't think I've seen a single Hot Pursuit yet. They're just going Frost Shot every single time. It's kind of crazy. It's actually really interesting. But with the lead that they have, they are just driving the agenda of the game. They are really pushing this forward. I mean, this is a best of 5 series. We're on the winner bracket, so even if you are not able to make it here, you always have another chance later on in the losers bracket. But as it stands, Vala is sitting at 15 stacks. Boah, they blow up a Nubarak. Damn, son. A noob got wrecked. And now we have in the bot lane still Brightwing holding on to the global a little bit. Obviously, the bosses are now up too. I would be surprised if the red team wouldn't go for it, because they should. They definitely should. I mean, they get the tribute, but the boss is right there, and you have level 10 in a moment. It's a big gap also between the blue and the red team in experience. That gives you a huge opportunity to sneak one of the bosses if they want to. But they haven't made any moves for that yet. And they actually split Vala off. Really surprised to see that. With level 10 advantage, I would have expected them to either go for the boss or try and push a lane and take the wall down. And they're doing neither. So they are now in a situation where they had an enormous advantage over the red team, and they didn't really capitalize on it. So, not so sure about that call. I mean, of course they get the camp for free, and the red team hasn't had a chance to move into the middle of the map because they didn't want to face off against an opponent that runs a level 10 on them. But still, I think they could have done a bit more here. We get the top keg plays indeed, and also, while we have to consume souls and also the Emerald Wind, there's an interesting set of ults that we are getting from the red team. Normally what you expect here, at least lately, is the Thorns of Hate for Mephisto. Brightwing played in the western scene way more heavily with the Blink heal. Normally you don't get an Emerald Wind at all. They took the boss at the bottom of the map, by the way, so they have now an extra point. The arrow interrupt! Arrow interrupt against the Nubarak. Nice. And here comes the opportunity to get the curse. Guys, this is actually pretty sexy. They have the boss perfectly timed at the bottom of the map, so I like that. And this bad boy is now going to do damage as they are trying to play for the curse itself. And if they win the team fight, they could also go for the top boss. Now Alarak already with the damage output. Vala completing the quest. Big hits coming. Everybody's low. And Nubarak, the first one to fall. Consume souls. It doesn't get a kill. But again, 3 heroes, 4 heroes are lost on the side of the red team. And they are going to time boss and also curse perfectly here. Big team fight there. I mean, huge. Anduin getting out of that fight. Nubarak the first one to fall. Consume souls dropped them low, but not low enough. And they just blew everybody apart with Vala, with Dehaka and Hanzo. Now the boss is taken. Everything just on Razor's edge. Everybody is low, but they get the boss. The bottom fort still stands, but just barely. I mean, it's only held together by spit and a bit of chewing gum, and it's definitely going to fall now. I mean, it doesn't even have any hit points left. Look at this shit. So now they're cursed. We have to deal with the boss at the top. The attack in the mid lane is also going to happen. And Dehaka will not join any fight if he can help it. He's going to stay at the bot lane for as long as he can. So we will see him pressure the keep wall here. That's what he's going to try and do. Rest of the team is busy in the middle, trying to get a fort destroyed here. It's a 2-level lead by now, and the boss at the top is still not eliminated. So they need to defeat it, and they need to do it quickly. Brightwing is not going to be able to handle the Haka, and as you can tell in the middle of the map, it's not only the fort that suffers, but they're also trying to make a play for the wall so that they get access to the keep. They have a talent advantage over the opponent's team. The 3-level lead that we are currently seeing for them gives them a massive stats advantage too. Yeah, and holy shit, are they gonna get a keep now? They might get a kill. Shitwing is in trouble, and yep, the fruit fly has been eliminated. The top keg play from Chain comes a bit too late. So this is a huge problem. That keep in the mid lane is suffering more and more and more. Down at the bottom of the map, it has taken damage too. They will be able to save this for now. The question is just for how long. 11 kills to 1. And now the top forward is going to maybe even... Yeah, they're going to lose this one. This one is going to be taken down. Is it? It's going to be close. But yeah, likely they're going to lose the fort. If not, then we're going to see either Vala or Hanzo make a quick trip topside and take it down. So yeah, it hasn't been eliminated yet. But there's so much damage that has been done now by nothing else to do. Nothing else to do apparently, but wreck your opponent and wreck them hard. Murden is now the one coming in here. And yep, drops the Storm Bolt. As you can tell, he does not have Sledgehammer. That would have been the end of it. But he's still able to come in with another one. And that is obviously going to put an end to the top fort, which means that all of the outer buildings have been destroyed. The entire outer ring of defense is gone. And now they're also looking at level 16 in just a few seconds. Now the boss over here at 2.5 minutes, but if you look down to the bottom of the map, 1.5 minutes and they have a chance to go for another boss. And that's not really a big time window, and there's not enough time for Girls Don't Like You to get to their own level 16. So Vala is now running Manticore, which is definitely going to be a problem for Chen and for Nubarak. That front line is going to suffer. But the red team can only do one thing. Look for team fights, try and force them. There's no chance for them to soak to level 16. They can't just sit there and give the entire map up to the blue team. They haven't taken a single tribute yet, so it's not like they can win one team fight, get a curse, and then snowball it hard. So, really interesting one now. Yeah, the light bomb, he got pushed back there a little bit, but still connected at least with one hero. Top kick plays to delay things a little bit further, but there, oh, that arrow. Narrowly missing the target and on his way to the States as Chen falls. We have also, with another cocoon from Nubarak, the fight at least shut down temporarily. But the problem is still the same. Tributes are spawning, they can't be taken by Girls Don't Like You. We have another push with Siege Giants up at the top. And, of course, Dehaka, he's still controlling these side lanes. Boss is up in another 20 seconds. Tribute can be taken. There's just so much that nothing else to do can do now. No pun intended. But they can just move from objective to boss, push the bot lane out a little bit, go for additional camps, push the mid lane, go for the keep. And maybe if they can lock in a kill or two, go for the core directly. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. As I said. Boss is already here, and with Hanzo they can take it very, very quickly, as they did previously. So the first tribute is taken, or the fourth in a row, depending on how you want to look at it. Red team, they kind of know what's going on, or at least I would assume so, but it's not like they can do anything about it. Unless Chen goes in with the top kick play, but Chen went a little bit too deep, and now all of a sudden it's stun, 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 and Chen is in real trouble. Yeah, he has to get out of this. If the Haka connects a lick here, then this is the end of him. They go for Alarak now. Arrow connects too, and he gets crushed. No chance for Alarak, even with the Emerald Wind coming in. Alarak is down. If they can get another kill here, this might as well be game, because that boss is now marching through the bot lane, and they're just absolutely murdering them. So right now, Mephisto, he's doing work with the 27,000 damage, but it's just enough. It's just not enough to get kills for them. So they're really in trouble here. This is going to be the end of the keep at the bot lane for sure. It might be the end of the game. And if they're taking this keep, if they can't go for core, they're going to go in the middle and drop 2 keeps now. And that is just a nightmare. Vala, if she dies, even with Mephisto, when the consume souls, she's not going to die. But the bottom keep is gone. And I am shocked that nobody moved into the middle to take this one too. I mean, Murder is pushing this out a little bit, but nowhere near with the commitment that we need from them in order to make this work. But they have another tribute that they can take, and there's also another boss up for grabs. Of course, the red team now is level 16, so you don't want to turn this into a throw pit over here. This is the one good chance for them to get back into it. The problem is really that as long as the Haka is pushing these catapults in, it's very difficult to move a hero away from the bot lane. Red team knows that there's always a chance that they're trying to take this one, so now they're moving in here. But are they gonna try and backdoor this? Oh boy. Oh boy. They want Brightwing, the Stormbolt misses though, the arrow misses too, they just missed everything. They just missed absolutely everything. Oh god. Yeah, Brightwing could have been popped there. But they go for the fight, and let's see who takes it. Anduin working overtime to ensure that Vala doesn't fall. Instead, it's Mephisto that nearly died. Cocoon now being used too. There's the light bomb though. They're coming in again. Trying to go for Anubarak. The drag hits. Shield is out. Anubarak is low. So is Brightwing. Oh, they're all so low. It's Vala that dies first. Anubarak is dead too. They're trying for the Panda, but this fight isn't over. They're pushing this as best they can, and these drags from the Haka are just nuts. They connect again with Alarak, and that is the end of the side laner. Alarak is down 19 to 17 on the level count. They're trying to go for Chen, and he is super low too, but they want Brightwing. Another Emerald Wind is keeping the Fruit Fly alive though. They still haven't taken out this keep. This is the keep that they dropped first super low, and then they never really followed up on it. So now they are continuing to pressure the bot lane, but without Vala, I highly doubt that they're going to be able to end the game. So as it stands, level 20, soon TM, but there's a tribute up, and yeah, that's going to be another curse. So 6 tributes in a row claimed by nothing else to do. Yeah, this should be the final nail in the coffin. There's also a boss up that you could take, which they haven't. Varian's Legacy is in. That's a pretty shitty legacy, by the way. If Anduin is Varian's Legacy, I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. It's not something that you want to announce to the world. Farflight Quiver, a little bit more safety for Vala. There's the arrow. This time he is on point. Good job, Hanzo. Gets Cocoon for his troubles, but the Fruit Fly is dead. Goodbye, Brightwing. And they try to go for a Nubarak again, too. Yeah, everybody is just on the run now. The curse has hit hard. Avatar is out. They're finally taking this keep down. Hell, it's about time. Chen is dead, too. Ooh, Vala made it out and dies to the consumed soul. This game might not be over yet. It's a triple kill by Mephisto. Yeah, Mephisto is keeping them in the game. It's actually insane when you think about it. How the hell did they survive through that? They were cursed and only lost the keep that more or less didn't have any hit points to begin with. So, well, is there a chance? They're gonna get level 20. If they get the boss at the top, I mean, the problem that we have is that there's all of the forts are still here, and every single fort is also still guarded with towers, with the exception of the one at the bottom of the map. But we're now 16, 17 minutes into the game, which means that the catapults are really going to hurt. Yeah, we saw that, Mephisto. We saw that. Yeah, so the catapults are definitely going to pressure the core a lot. Brightwing has to stay at the side. Defend the bot lane, defend the mid lane. They don't give a shit apparently about those roots. I mean, in this case they don't really have to. Vala and Murden are still dead, so the chance of them being invaded here is slim to none. 17 kills to 5, by the way. That is pretty spectacular. That's a crazy lead. But the game isn't over yet. It should be, but it's not over yet. This is a forced fight though. This is something where girls don't like you. They have to react to this. They cannot let this boss be taken. So Chen is now really valuable with his keg plays. So they're trying to make sure that it leashes. Alarak trying to control the area here. Yeah, Murden jumps in. Light bomb pretty much negated. They got the Cocoon out too. Anduin saving Vala. And so far, the red team has done what they came here to do. They prevented the boss from being taken. They need to either take it themselves or make sure that nothing else to do cannot get it. And this is a problem. Once again, the catapult griefing behind the siege giants, absolutely squeezing past. Yeah, squeezing past a little bit. So the top keep is now also in trouble. In the middle of the map, the core nearly got attacked, and catapults are now down to the bot lane too, forcing Brightwing to react to it, which of course means that blue team is immediately moving in for the point again. But top side, that's where Hanzo is positioning himself. They go for Chen, the stuns, Brightwing, and it's not enough. Big arrow from the top lane. Chen is down, a Nubarak stun, the boss is taken, and now they're trying to go for the rest of the team. And Mephisto, he's the top damage dealer for the red team. He dies, so does a Nubarak, and I guess it's also going to be the end of a Brightwing. The Fruit Fly attacked and about to go down, gets murdered. And this is going to be all she wrote. Nothing else to do on the way to victory. 21 kills, 2-5 in total. Game number 1 in this winner bracket, best of 5 series, is going to the blue team. They did a great job here. Vala with 54,000 damage, Hanzo with 50,000 damage. Nobody can hold a candle to Mephisto, who came in at 75, 76k towards the end. But the W goes to nothing else to do as they lock in the win on Cursed Hollow. Nicely done, GG, and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Alterac Pass, map number 2, everybody. Nothing else to do as taking the lead after the first map. Girls don't like you as trailing a bit here. Cursed Hollow was a very, very good map for the blue team for sure. They had from start to finish control over the game. Now they're going to try and do the same thing here on the second map. We have on the left side Johanna, Stukov and Leoric. Tychus gets played again, and we already had some Tychus with Drill on 10, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this game. Genji to round out the draft. Whereas on the right side, it is Blaze and Muradin that rock the front line. We got Anduin, Vala, and Li Ming now. So Vala with another multi-shot build here. Stukov, by the way, with the lurking arm right from the get-go already. And, well, here we are. We got on level 1, the Ether Walk, of course. Dominance has been a talent on level 4 that most of the Li Ming players in this tournament seem to prefer. Genji is already trying to take them on from the side here, flanking in a little bit and poking against the backline. One of the priority targets. Oh, nice! Good Swift Strike. One of the priority targets are, of course, the two damage dealers, both of them on the squishy side. Leoric with the fealty onto death. And it is time to split onto the side lanes. No death or no kill in the skirmish in the mid lane. We now have a normal top lane between the two teams here. Whereas down to the bottom of the map, we have Stukov together with Genji trying to force Li Ming back a little bit. When you're talking about Alterac, this is by far one of the most important spots and things to do, and both of the teams are immediately taking care of the camp at the 1 minute mark when it spawns on the map. As long as you take that whenever it's off cooldown, it's kind of important. But at the same time, with the prisoner camp spawning up on the map, if this was a European game, a North American game, you would expect the teams to at least wait until level 7 talents, sometimes even longer than that, waiting until they have level 10. But we already had 1 or 2 games on Alterac, if I'm not mistaken, and most of the teams seem to be a bit more aggressive here around these team fights. So we'll see how that goes for them. While, of course, eager to also stack on the level 1, not only to complete the quest, but also to get some general damage in. And Tychus has at least started with the quarterback, so already starting with a grenade build, which is very typical also in the Western scene. But we have seen some really wild Tychus builds, so it's going to be interesting to see if this is going to get mirrored here, or if this is more of a normal Tychus style from the Western perspective. But yeah, time will tell, obviously. On level 4, one good spread is in. We got the Master Assassin. And normally when I see Master Assassin, my go-to is right away, okay, this is going to be an Odin play. You want to have the increased passive attack speed for Odin. But then again, the first time that Tychus was picked in the tournament, we saw exactly that build start. And then he went into Drill. And at the time, I said that I thought this was, that I gave him the benefit of the doubt and said, okay, this has to be a misclick, right? So he just fat-fingered the key, used the wrong hotkey, whatever it was. But as it turned out, we had a pretty similar build in one of the following games. So that seems to be a bit of a Taiwanese, Chinese meta that they really like to roll out here, which makes me immediately curious what exactly the blue team is now going to do on level 10. So it could be a pretty fun one. As expected, by the way, we got the dominance on level 4, so this is big here. We have also a reverberation again for Muradin. And the prisoner camp, they are up now. So let's see if they're going to wait for level 7 or how they're going to play this out. Leo has started to switch things up a little bit. He finds himself now at the bot lane, whereas top side Genji is dealing with the minion waves. But yes, both of them are already slowly starting to make a play for the prisoner camp here. As you can tell, we have them immediately in position for this. So let's see, can they get a lead there? The funny thing is also that this allows the blue team to get the camp, and as I explained at the beginning of the game, this is fairly important. So thanks to Stukov, they shut down the approach towards the prisoner camp completely, but the red team has not taken their own camp, so already a bit of an advantage for the blue team because they have this one now moving through, and if they from here on out diligently go for the camp whenever they can, it means that they're always a bit of a step ahead, so they could really start to snowball this. And we have seen games that where the mid lane suffers massively because of that, and already they're delaying this even further. Vala is checking this and she's like, do I have to help out? Can I go for the camp? So they're trying to take this, but it allows for a lead. So this is already this little advantage that they are getting just simply because they went over and took the camp first and the opponent had to react to it. Good kill here also from Genji, nicely done. Myrden taken down, gets the swift strike reset and immediately moves back out. So the camp gets defeated, but the wall has suffered a bit, and the prisoner camp is still under full control of nothing else to do, and they are owning this one hard. Yep, they are gonna take it. First one is gonna be taken for sure, I want to say, but well, okay, they gotta let it slide again, and here it is. The cavalry is going to touch ground, and that should at least drop a few walls. This early in the game, the objective hasn't scaled too hard yet, but what we should see is at least some of those towers go down. Again, the frost shot, been talking about this of course a little bit. Hot pursuit doesn't really seem to be a thing in the meta that we're observing here. So small differences for sure. But at the bottom of the map, Vala now going up against Leoric as well. Still trying to stack her level 1 a bit further. And we're getting closer and closer to level 10, where some of the questions that we asked earlier at the beginning of the game are going to be answered. Middle of the map, that's where most of the action is now being focused. But yeah, it's a very early objective, so the cavalry is not doing too much yet. They are able to take at least one of the towers down over here, and I think they should be able to also damage the second one a bit further, maybe even drop it completely. Vala, then again, is struggling a lot down here, and I don't know. Is Leo actually going to get the fort? That would be a big win this early in the game, and I think there's a solid chance that he can make that happen, especially since the rest of the team is now also moving down to help him out here. Job well done. Yeah, very, very nice. So they are able to take the fort down, and level 10 is going to be a reward that they're going to get in just a moment. So with that, come on, Tychus. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you so much. Odin. Oh boy. It's been a while that I sat there and was actually thanking a Tigers player for picking Odin. I cannot believe that this is a thing in this tournament, but if I'm not mistaken, this is only the... it might even be the first or the second time that we see Odin picked. The other times it was Drill, which is just crazy. It's absolutely crazy, but yeah, I love this. Okay, Master Assassin on level 4, the bonus attack speed, the passive attack speed for Odin, and they pop it. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I was really questioning this a bit. And they go for the boss. The rotations are just a little bit cleaner from nothing else to do. And even though Murden is sniffing this out, the problem is that Blaze is just now slowly on his way. They might be able to get here in time, though. But the one thing that is very clear is that it is still the blue team that is making the decisions, and the red team is playing very reactionary. Generally speaking, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but they give up the boss now, and it's an immediate push towards Blaze that is now forcing the red team back too. I'm just waiting for the Entomb. I think Murden, yeah, used this jump, so if they can get a quick hit with an Entomb now, that would be fantastic. But let's see if they can make that work. So already Leo in position. We have in the middle of the map the mercenary camp eliminated by the minion wave. Boss should be able to take at least a few of those towers down. And that is also, with the defense and the full commitment from Girls Don't Like You, giving the red team a chance to maybe move to the top lane and either start the boss, or what could also be a good call is to go for the camp here. Sorry, for the fort here. But it seems like they're going for the boss. And interestingly enough, they're not even trying to hide. They are just simply coming in here and starting to take the boss on. Not afraid of the red team in any way, shape or form. This is a bit scary. This could be a throw pit, but they're moving away from it. Yeah, I would have liked it a bit more if they just tried to damage the fort, but the red team is now committed. They apparently are the ones now that are trying to get it, but the boss is leashed, not taken, and here we are. Easy move in. They're starting to make a play with the light bomb, but they don't get the hits. And, well, the Entomb also didn't hit. So, right now it's just... Oh, it's all about Vala. They're trying to take her down. And Odin, Tychus, he got very close of dropping the backliner. But it's just mad damage on all sides. And Vala stacking her level 1 further with every single multi-shot that she YOLOs out here. Mirror had to jump back, but what a nice isolation of Vala with a grenade. And she goes down. The damage is gone. At least one of the main damage dealers. The risk is, of course, always that you have Li Ming getting some resets and being able to snowball this, especially since she picked dominance. She can play a bit more aggressive as long as she gets those kills and really sustain herself through the team fight, if that happens for her. But, well, we got the next prisoner camp up, and by now we're 10 minutes into the game. We also have a talent advantage for the blue team. So here's an opportunity to not only get ahead on the camp, but maybe even... it's gonna be tricky. Yeah, Fountain and Ford are still there. Oil spread, big issue. And there's also Li Ming to consider, so as long as they don't force the battle around it, I don't think they're gonna have an easy time going for a channel. But well, we'll see. Genji is pushing the bot lane out a little bit. This is the only lane where the catapults are also going to give them some grief in the middle of the map. Yeah, the action still continues too. We all of a sudden have Blaze moving in, getting the stun out with the light bomb, but it's Li Ming that falls first. Stukov survives and Blaze died too. Mirrodin with a big hero jump straight into the backline to drop the support, but he pays with his life for the kill. 5 kills to 1, and Genji is right back at the camp, starting to get the prisoners. And of course, with Odin also used by Tychus, we have the mid lane attack. There's nobody that can help this. Vala and Anduin are the only survivors for now, so while the mid lane fort is likely going to fall before the cavalry is even here, there's no doubt that the objective should be grabbed by nothing else to do. Keep in mind that Stukov is just now coming back, so Jojo is a little bit low and she needs some assistance here, but it seems like it's pretty certain that the blue team is going to get a second one now. Yeah, nobody's interrupting this. Instead, Genji is actually moving into the middle and is nearly taking down the fort here. He drops it really low. That combo doesn't connect with anything. Even if Leo dies, he would, of course, respawn very quickly. So more forts will fall. I think they're going to lose both of them, the one at the top and at the mid lane. And we still have a couple of bosses that could afterwards be taken, since I expect level 16 to be grabbed by nothing else to do during this. So they're in a fantastic position now. There's a lot of experience globes that have to be sucked up by Genji, and that's exactly what he's doing. So now with the level 16 talent advantage that they're going to get any moment, they should be able to push this very, very far. The mid lane fort is already gone. We're 11 minutes in. Yes, the cavalry is not really too strong, but they're definitely a lot more... They're hitting a lot harder than they did previously. So in the middle of the map, gate is already getting demolished a bit. Down to the bottom of the map, we should see a similar thing. And they have a level 16 now too. So, yep, there it is. Level 16 is ready. That gives them a big lead. We now got the Royal Focus with the Ominous Wraith. And a chance to maybe take another hero down or two. If they drop a good Entomb, for example, well, Leo might be dropped here. And he does get dropped, but the counter-attack against Li Ming, and she gets away. The bunker is out to save Blaze. They're isolating Mirrodin, and they are all low. Blaze moving this deep nearly cost him his life, but Anduin saved the day for him. Grenades are being fired out, but finally we get a kill as Blaze gets eliminated by Genji. Nicely done. Odin also used. Leoric will be back soon, TM, and as all of this plays out, the bot and the top lane have been pressured by the cavalry. Again, the objective not strong enough yet to really drop a key, but it went through the wall. The entire gate opened up. A bit of damage to the keep itself, and the similar picture at the bot lane too. And with the pings, the intentions of nothing else to do are very, very obvious. They want to go for the boss once again, and the red team, they have to rally a bit. They're going to get Blaze back. They will have level 16, but I doubt that they're going to arrive in time to contest this boss in any way, shape or form. Now, they are going for their camp. They could technically have tried to go for the top lane, but obviously they don't quite have all of the information that we have here, and they were waiting for level 16 to begin with. So we have Mirror Ball in the game. We got the imposing presence for Mirrodin, and they start to make their play at the top. Anduin with a double pull. So he goes for the Glyph of Faith here. The pullout king is back to business, trying to save the team. But as they go for the boss, the blue team is now rotating up, trying to contest this. They're going to be a bit too late, I think, unless Genji YOLO's in. And no, he doesn't risk it. That was clutch on the other hand. That was very, very clutch. Avatar to be used. Mirrodin jumps out, gets immediately entombed, but Anduin is still ready. And while they're fighting at the top, we have the boss of the blue team going for the bottom keep, and there's a very good chance that the bottom keep is now going to fall to all of this. Up at the top, it's still a fort that we're talking about. So a huge blow potentially against the red team. In the middle of the map, another camp, and I've been talking about the importance of this one a lot, but you can see here what it can actually do if it's taken with proper timing. So it goes through the entire wall. The bottom keep definitely lost. And, well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is keep number 1 gone at the 14-minute mark as the top fight still rages on. Girls don't like you. They at least want to take this fort, and they're going to get it. But the team fight might not end in their favor. Leo's moving in from behind once again. Gets good connects off. Oh, Genji! Big hits, big kills. Goes for the double. They look for the triple, and they get it. Even Li Ming now being chased. She might survive, but just. Yeah, she survives, but just. And, well, newsflash, he's not going to make it. So, yeah, goodbye, Blaze. He can bunker up all he wants, but eventually he is going to die. Big teamfight victory for nothing else to do. 9 kills, 2-2, Mega 10, and they're also going for the next objective here. Genji has been absolutely crushing it. Vala is also dealing a lot of damage. She's by now at 46 stacks on her multi-shot, but it's just not enough to turn the tides in these battles in their favor. Yeah, still that battle between Li Ming and Genji, and he's really, really pressuring her. She can't die now. You can't have the staggered death here, but also we have level 20, so an entomb, a buried alive, can be devastating. 10 stacks, by the way, for Taika, so there's even a chance that he's going to make it towards the end of the game and gets the quest completed. The damage output on his side is at 51,000, so pretty respectable. And we have, for the red team, 40,000 for Li Ming. There's the entomb on Anduin. Yeah, no pullout opportunities this time, my friend. Anduin gets caught, gets killed, and that should just be the beginning of the end. Not only did they just lose their support, but the cavalry is on the way. Once again, the objective has been taken. The keep in the middle and the top lane both have taken damage already. Genji is easily able to move out here. Good jet propulsion from Blaze. If Li Ming gets kills and resets, then maybe they can prevent the worst from happening here. But things are looking very rough, and what a catch! They take Mirrodin down. Vala is dead too. So is Blaze. This should be game. Nothing else to do with the big plays in game number 2. They once again take a commanding lead in this game and therefore the series. It's a 2-0 in the best of 5 here in the winner bracket quarterfinal over Girls Don't Like You. Well executed and an absolute dominant performance by the blue team. Nicely done. GG and well played. Okay, everybody, here we are, game number 3. So, if you're wondering why we now have a draft all of a sudden in the series, the answer is actually very simple. It's Saturday, and honestly, I found out about this tournament a little bit late, and I already had something planned for Saturday morning, but I just came back home, jumped immediately on the Battle.net, and if you watch this on YouTube, you probably saw the previous 2 maps. I'm going to recast them from replays. That's at least the plan, but here we are. Nothing else to do against Girls Don't Like You. Absolutely fantastic team names. I mean, there's just no doubt these guys are absolute stars, at least for me. If you name your team something like that, that's already awesome. So we're on Dragon Shire right now. The blue team has a 2-0 lead. We are still in the Skyline Cup here. And we'll see if the blue team is now able to clinch out a 3-0 victory in the best of 5 and move on to the next round of the winner bracket, or if Girls Don't Like You have a chance to maybe bring this back. It's always a little bit strange, because usually when girls don't like you, at least when you're a bit younger, that means that you're a bit more on the geeky side, and you would think that the geek boys would be absolutely amazing at just like video games in general. So with Dragon Shire, you have also a very heavy rotational map. We got Chromie as the first pick here for the red team. Now after they lost the second map, they therefore decided in favor of having first pick, first ban, giving the map choice up to their opponent, who instantly banned out Mephisto and Kerrigan in this case. But yeah, it should actually be... the tournament so far has been a blast. I mean, again, this is Taiwanese and Chinese players. We have a couple of teams that also have some Koreans playing for them. And it was just a ton of fun seeing the first best of 5 matches in the round of 8 in the winner bracket. And I don't really think that this is... I think it's going to be a theme that will be pretty consistent throughout the tournament. It's kind of nice to just get a glimpse of a different meta altogether. And of course, we had the Heroes International too. So we had the metas collide a little bit here. But still, this is a bit different. And I'm definitely here for it. So right now we got Muradin and we got Anduin as the early picks, but with Johanna and Stukov now coming in, you can already see that if they add a bit more stun, that would be a very solid setup for Chromie to get her damage through. If you have a Blessed Shield from the Johanna, maybe the Condemn follow-up from Stukov, and one additional stun, that you can really lock the target down very heavily for Chromie to come in, get all of the damage connected and blow a target to pieces. And I have to assume that this is going to be the game plan here for Girls Don't Like You. Yeah, the translations are a little bit wild. I was mostly relying on some of the Liquipedia information, but I double-checked with the admin, and he actually told me that apparently the Google Translate algorithm kind of screwed things up slightly. So this seems to be the actual team names here. Nothing else to do, and Girls Don't Like You. Glorious, as I already said. But okay, here we are. Third bans are through. We have Leoric banned out, and we also have the Haka now taken off the map. This is still a map where if you're playing Urel top lane or if you're playing Rexa, you're in a great spot. I also would have honestly expected a Blaze ban before I see a Leoric ban here, so I find that a little bit surprising. It doesn't mean that the skeleton is bad, by no means, but still, if I compare that to the priority that a Blaze that Urel gets on this map, they are usually a bit stronger here on Dragonshire. But Leo, of course, has all of that wave clear. He has the Entomb for later, so they get rid of him. They lock in Blaze for themselves, and now we have Sylvanas too. I'm a little bit concerned that the guy is called Twins Blade, so far we haven't seen a variant from him. Oh, but we are seeing a Suljin. Hello! Okay. Suljin, oh boy, if they add an additional stun, nah, they don't. They go for Zeratul. Okay, this is getting wild. That means they have a single frontliner and Zeratul as the side laner. Not really a very tanky front. Suljin needs stacks. Can he get them? That's the question. We have Genji as the final pick, and well, guys, that sets us up. Game number 3. Let's go straight to Dragonshire and see which team locks in victory here. Game number 3, the 2-0 lead for the blue team as we are heading into Dragonshire. We got on the left side nothing else to do with a pretty traditional front line running Muradin and Blaze here. Anduin for the heals. We get Sylvanas, and as you can tell, we in this case also have Genji. So a little bit more damage, push power that they bring to the table. On top of that, we have on the right side of the map for the red team, where we currently look at Stukov. We got Suljin. It's a bit of a wild setup that they're running here. Zeratul and Jojo at the front line without an additional frontliner is definitely not the norm. They have a lot of damage, of course, but if they can really get that through in the late stage is the big question, because Jojo is going to be under pressure, and those squishies in the back line, they are a target for Genji for sure. A well-placed Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas could also help a lot here. We'll see what's going to happen. On level 1, we in this case already have the Laws of Hope, so that's the first thing that's happening here. But let's see what they can pull off. On level 1, we also get the low blow, so it seems like we're looking, at least for now, for a Lurking Arm build for Stukov. In addition to that, we have a Cleave build for Zeratul. And Cleave builds usually are a bit more indicative of us getting also a Void Prison. Not really the norm when you're looking into the Western meta, for example, where mobility is usually key on Zeratul and where you're trying to go for the might of the Nerazim. We have sometimes adjustments with the Cleave build if you're looking more so to wave clear. And given the fact that he's currently acting as a side laner and will most likely also have some rotations later, it's understandable that he adjusts his build to fit that role a little bit better. So we'll see how this is going to work. But yeah, I mean, at this point, we have a couple of stacks for Suljin. He's gonna, I would assume, struggle a little bit to get stacks together, but if he pulls it off, it would be nice. I like the coordination, by the way, with the mounts. That's actually pretty amazing. So that is a big plus in favor of Girls Don't Like You. I honestly don't understand why the girls don't like them. These guys have a lot of great taste. They're running here with their mounts, and this is just absolutely fantastic. So... yeah, then again, girls like winners, and currently these guys are losing pretty heavily, so they need to put a point on the board, and who knows, you know? Maybe there's gonna be a girl out there says like, you know what, I was on the fence, but then you locked in the victory on Shire, and oh baby, that really did it for me. So, yeah, who knows? I mean, I've heard worse pickup lines. It's actually true. But yeah, so level 4 is in. We got the talents ready. And what do you know? Girls Don't Like You is pushing through the bot lane and they get first blood. They take Murden down. Nicely done. Murden is down. The wall is also destroyed. Hello. They are crushing it here. I like it. And look at Genji. He gets pulled back out by Anduin. But it was still a pretty close call of what we saw here. And they are still firing away. Stacks are slowly coming together. That's not only true for Suljin, but also for Jojo and Chromie. So here we go. I really, really like the way that they are putting this aggressive play towards the bot lane with the mercenary camp that they had. Now they have to deal with the top lane too. That's of course a bit downside. With them this heavily focusing on the bottom of the map, they also open themselves up to the push with the mercenary camp topside. Right now, Genji again in a little bit of trouble here. We have a reverberation on the Muradin as a level 4 talent. Nothing too crazy happening here just yet, but both teams very eager to dish out some damage to structures, as you can see now topside too. Now, of course, there's always the battle for the first objective, but it doesn't seem that anybody is making huge commitments to make that happen. For Jojo, as long as she can rotate between the lanes and get those globes, it's going to be pretty nice for self-sustain later on. Take some of the pressure off from Stukov too. So they're definitely going to play around that a little bit. I'm already sitting at 10 stacks here. I gotta say that Suljin is also doing a bit better on the stacking process than I expected him to. Went into the ferocity here on level 7. And I'm very curious if he is able to properly stack his baseline and not only get the range increase, but also can then later on murder Murden, because that would really go a long way. They're even putting pressure onto the Dragon Knight now with the double temple under their control. And so far, it's actually looking pretty good. So yeah, after losing the first 2 maps, at least here in the early game, they're doing okay. Still trying to put that point onto the board. But then again, to be fair, I'm more so concerned about the mid and the late game, considering that they only run Johanna at the front. So once that we are looking at not only heroic abilities, but also just those compositions maybe playing more of a role in these big team fights, it could very quickly flip. So time will tell, but they have at least Suljin as a weapon that could scale well into the late game if he can keep those stacks up. And he's not quite at the quest reward yet. He needs another 3 actually at this point to get the range increase. That's going to make stacking, of course, also a lot easier for him. We still have some top lane pressure too, where Blaze has consistently pushed Zeratul back. He's obviously going to win that battle pretty easily here with all of the sustain that he can bring to the table. But the consistent attempt to take that bot fort down is something that I really like from the red team right now. Genji still poking, hoping to keep that backline low in HP and play around it. And well, Sylvanas in real trouble and barely saved here. Zeratul could sneak the Dragon Knight at this point. Actually, Blaze moving into the middle of the map to prevent that from happening. But Zeratul is still staying at the top and tries to get some extra experience. Even Genji rotating away to ensure that there's no objective for the red team. But that results in a pretty significant lead in experience right now for Girls Don't Like You. Blaze has moved to the top to close that gap at least a little bit and make sure that they're not losing the entire wave. But the pressure is definitely on the blue team. I mean, for sure. And Suljin is doing really well down here. So the blue team should try and get a couple of kills here soon, but there's level 10! Oh, and Suljin in the last second gets his ult through. Nice! So they have level 10, he gets his ult in, and we now have the Falling Sword, as already predicted. It is also the Void Prison for Zeratul. 18 stacks now for Suljin. Look at the Chihuahuas. Oh, I actually like that they're coordinating this nicely. But yeah, the fort is down. First fort has been eliminated. 4 versus 4 at the bot lane. Now that Blaze is joining the battle, they have the numbers advantage. And that should be the end of Suljin. Suljin is down. That's only the 2nd kill in this game. And they're trying for more. And with the light bomb engaged, they're dropping Chromie and they're dropping Stukov. But at the same time, Zeratul is trying for it. Ah, and he's so close. But he couldn't get the Dragonite. A bit of a setback for sure. 18 stacks now also on the level 1 for Johanna. Again, self-sustain with the Laws of Hope is going to be pretty big. So she needs to try and get a few more connected here. But that's already a pretty big chunk of health that she would get back now whenever she uses it. We have the Wailing Arrow. That obviously was to be expected as well. And that light bomb engage that we can see from Genji in particular can really wreck that backline. Can put pressure onto Chromie, Stukov. I mean, even Zeratul when you time it well. But of course, looking at the damage numbers at this point in time, we have Suljin with 16, 17,000. It's not too shabby, honestly, considering this is still the early game. We're 7.5 minutes in. So if he continues to play this aggressive and the blue team doesn't punish him, he might get to a point where he is really going to be the bane of their existence in the late game. And Muradin already doesn't like him. Muradin doesn't like him at all. He's just sitting there like, get away from me. Ah, boy. Yeah, but here's the engage with the light bomb again. A nice moves from Stukov, immediately pushing him back out with some big slapping. And all of a sudden, with the VP drop, they're disengaging again. Muradin is looking for the Storm Bolt, doesn't connect that. Oh, but that jet propulsion was money. Suljin is totally crushing Muradin with the help of Chromie, though. And now they are obliterating Blaze, too. So, yeah, here comes Genji, takes Suljin down. For now, this is still working, but once that level 20 is there, it's a different story. With Sylvanas being punished, it's at least a trade. And let's not forget, Suljin in that last encounter, he might have died towards the end, but he also was able to get a ton of auto attacks in, which now results in him rocking 33 stacks on the baseline. That's not too bad, honestly. That's pretty solid. And they're again going for the objective, and this time nobody's going to stop them. So it turns out that Jojo's going to be the first one to lock a Dragonite in. We have 4 kills to 4. But I still gotta say, we have a lot of stacking quests here. 4 girls don't like you. And so late game is where they're gonna feel very comfortable. Especially if Jojo can also get all of these globes now. If they can get to a couple more camps, for example. She's already sitting at an additional 10% heal thanks to the 23 that she has. But going a little bit higher would be kind of nice. Right, bit of an ass kicking for Genji, but they're going into the backline again. And Stukov with the slaps. Yeah, the Dragonite is gone, but the fight can still start. Falling Sword is there. Yeah, light bomb engage, and what a beautiful connect from Genji. But Stukov is able to heal Chromie out. He nearly saves himself too, but he falls. And it turns out that Jojo is also not meant to live, so that's 2 kills for the blue team. Definitely coming back with a vengeance here. But gotta say, not too shabby from Girls Don't Like You. And again, they're scaling. But the first 2 games, they lost both, so this is the last leg in the winner bracket. If they don't win here, if they don't start a comeback now, then they will find themselves very quickly in the losers bracket. Suljin, 37 stacks, that translates into 29,000 damage, making him currently the 2nd highest damage dealer in the game, just after Sylvanas. We'll see if he can get maybe a bit more out there too. So they are on the way back down to the bottom of the map. And they want that camp. And here it is. Murder's jumping into Suljin. Yep, got stunned apparently before he could use his... So no ult from him, which means they lost the camp and they lose Suljin. They definitely planned it a little bit differently, and I can only assume that Suljin was thinking about using his ult and was simply stunned out by Muradin here. Now with Johanna also dying, this is quite a lot of momentum that nothing else to do is accumulating for themselves here. They have lost an early fort, but now they are about to repay the red team in kind, since down at the bottom of the map the fort is being attacked and we still have a double camp pushing here, at least part of that double camp. So I don't think that fort has a chance. And since we also have a 5 versus 4 on the map, this is another big problem. So more and more momentum now for the blue team as they lock in a level 16 talent. Anduin with a glyph of faith. And Blaze already back up at the top lane, still holding on also to his fort, trying to make a move for the top shrine. Don't really think they can go for Dragonite here. They're not even trying. They haven't sent anybody down to the bot lane to get control, but instead we're seeing them aim for another camp. And they are trying to get Blaze, and they're actually really close. Is Chromie here? No, she's not, but they should be able to get the kill, and they do. Blaze is down. Heavy commitment from them, but kind of worth it, honestly. They get the shrine, they get the kill. They might be able to push now for the fort, as they have just gotten level 16. And with that, we of course have also the Void Slash, so that build is starting to fully complete. But Jojo, yeah, it's a big problem that I talked about earlier. Nice damage from Suljin though, so they have the damage. The problem is they don't have the sustain. The damage is definitely there. Sustain is a problem. Genji kind of messing up that timing on his light bomb, but they still get the kill on Suljin. Muradin with the avatar. They're still hoping to get a kill here. Zeratul, hello. Zeratul committing Sudoku as he moves in again. Yeah, but it's 11 kills to 6, and of course this also means a full level lead now for nothing else to do. There's a little bit of a lie as well. There's a lot to do here. They can get the bottom temple, they can also, the bottom shrine, they can get the Dragonite. There's a couple of camps that will soon spawn on the map again. There's also a few forts to take down. So there's tons and tons of things to do here. But maybe they mean that they have nothing else to do in their life but play Heroes of the Storm. I don't know if that's a nice thing or if that's a sad thing, but yeah, I guess that's up to interpretation. Either way, we have the levels for them. Damage, Suljin, I mean again, once he has level 20, is becoming a lot more dangerous, but he's now falling behind in damage. Chromie has overtaken him, Sylvanas is still ahead, and at this point in time Genji is also just looking a bit better here. Suljin, on the other hand, has a pretty solid amount of wave clear too. He's still fine, but level 20 seems to be needed because he's struggling after he popped his ult to stay alive in these team fights. We always have Genji either engaging late or somebody else jumping in. Now with the second fort on the red team side taken down, this also means that nothing else to do is gaining more and more of momentum. And they want the top fort too. So that would be the final one. Yeah, already starting to kick them out a little bit, and with another Dragon's Breath and 1 or 2 hits, that should be the end of it, and yep, that's the case. Jump into the backline, nice dodge by Johanna. Yeah, a little bit of a risky one here with the light bomb engaged this time, but it worked thus far. They're forcing the fight now with the VP, and I'm not sure if they can get the kill here. They're trying. Muradin, can he jump out? He's sucked back in. Yeah, but the battle is still going on. Suljin gets the ult out, gets the damage connected, but he still dies, and now they're losing another 2. Stukov, Jojo, all dead. And yeah, the gap between the two teams is clearly showing now. Not only is the blue team 8 kills ahead, but nothing else to do, is also about to hit level 20. They've destroyed all of the forts, and this is this late and mid-game momentum where the composition really shines. The one question was always, does the late game work well enough for Girls Don't Like You that they can capitalize on all of the stacking quests that they run with their composition? If that's the case, then they have a chance, but this is looking tough. A 2-level gap around Storm Talents, not easy to bridge and play around. Let the killing begin on 16. We got the shrinking vacuum here too. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit dicey. Next objective should be a no-brainer for the blue team. I don't think they're going to struggle to lock that in. By now also we have the living weapon, and cooldown reduction in these close quarter fights is of course going to be a huge asset for him. In addition to that, we now have the inner fire, we got the fortified bunker here, and probably a bit more important is also the rewind for Muradin, which allows him to stack even more CC and also close gaps or escape quite easily as long as he doesn't get hit by Chromie's ult. So yeah, it is what it is. They have to somehow survive, the red team. They can try now at the bot lane to at least save their keep, and we'll see if that works out. Thanks to Suljin and Chromie playing on the red team side, they have at least some distance poke that can help them to shred these camps within seconds. And also they have the lurking arm from Stukov that helps to keep the opponent at bay. So even though there was a double camp, that push barely did anything. Like, that did nothing. Now the problem is, of course, that we still have Yeah, half a level until level 20. So honestly not as bad as I thought. I really thought that they could capitalize on it a bit more. But it's still half a level, and now the Dragonite is again up for grabs. And that makes this very, very dicey. I don't know if they're even going to try, but yes, they are. They're going down to the bottom of the map in order to lock the shrine in, and that timing is going to work out well for them. So Jojo is here. And now you got to be very careful if your only tank has moved astray a bit. And yep, that tank is already getting attacked. Iron Skin is out, and she is in real trouble. Trying to get away here. Jet propulsion stun. Muradin jumps in. Bye-bye, Johanna. Johanna is down. Not quite sure why the bunker was needed in this case. I guess one of those better safe than sorry plays. But now as level 20 is just about to hit. 4 girls don't like you. We have the Dragonite about to be grabbed by nothing else to do. With Jojo down, your front line gone, there's pretty much nothing that they can do to prevent this from happening. And Zeratul was trying to go sneakily topside and catch that. That didn't happen. So now it's Blaze's turn this time, and boy, that is spelling trouble. The Shadow Mending. Zeratul with a bit more heal. That's an interesting choice for him. Cooldown reduction, of course, for Janna. And with level 20, we got now the Armani Resilience. So this is going to be... I mean, it's going to be nice for Suljin. The problem is that it might be too little too late. To be fair, there isn't a keep that has fallen yet. They are level 20 versus level 20. No keep has fallen at this point in time. So there is still a chance that they can somehow bring this back here. As long as you have access to all your keeps, catapults are a little bit of a nuisance, but they're not that massive problem that can lead to you losing the game. So they are still defending well. Yeah, this isn't over yet. Jojo is now also hitting the 30 stack cap for... Well, no, it's not a cap, but she hits 30 stacks for the Laws of Hope. So that's an additional 5% now. 15 in total on the heals. 54 stacks for Suljin. This isn't too shitty. This isn't too bad. I mean, again, they're still not in a great spot here, and they gotta be careful since the kill gap is really, really a big deal. But, well, if they can just hold a bit longer, force a good fight, Suljin pops off, Chromie gets a kill or two. I don't know, they might be able to pull something off here. Time will tell. Right now, here comes the fight, there's a light bomb, nice engage attempt. Suljin with the ult. Gets big damage out here. Yeah, he's at 50,000 now and is still poking. And the blue team is struggling a bit more to get some kills in. Here comes the bunker to prevent Chromie also from getting damage connected. Talking about damage, Genji is receiving a lot of that, but they're jumping into the backline right now. This could be a kill, Meritin! He wanted Suljin, but he just couldn't get him, and now the blue team is suffering, and they're suffering a lot. Look, oh my god, they're all low. This is insane. Don't tell me they're getting away here. That would be ridiculous. There we go, the double cleave kill. It's a triple, it's a quad kill, baby. Nice. That was some sexy damage from Zeratul in particular. 4 heroes just died, and now they can try and control that map again. But boy, what a hit. Keep an eye on Zeratul here. Zeratul, I mean, if Muradin doesn't get so close to his teammates, maybe a few of them would have survived. But now 4 of them died this late in the game, where death timers are a huge issue. 62 stacks by now for Suljin. Jojo is also getting more stacks, so she gets more sustain. And now they're coming in, trying to go for Genji. He barely makes it out, but the keep is gone. And guys, this might be game. This might be game. They're going for it. They're going for the core, and Suljin, does he have his ult back? Yeah, this is game. This is game. Look at that. Girls don't like you. Putting a point onto the board here. Me likey. They take Dragonshire and start a reverse sweep in game number 3. GG, well played. Game number 4. Girls don't like you with a big play as they lock in the victory on Dragonshire. And now we're heading into Towers of Doom. So off we go. Nothing else to do. How are they going to react here? Chromie gets banned right away. They're definitely done with Chromie. They looked at the last game and they're like, you know what, that Suljin guy, we kind of can deal with him. He was trolling a little bit, but that little dwarf over there is an absolute disaster. Dwarf, gnome, same shit. Especially since Chromie obviously doesn't count anyways. She's pretending to be like a dragon, which is ridiculous in the first place. I mean, just because you have the illusion that you're something doesn't make it so, and she is definitely not a dragon. No self-respecting dragon would take that form voluntarily. We already went over this in the past, this is another thing. But here comes Mephisto, and yeah, with Mephisto, again, he was banned out previously, so clearly the idea to... they definitely swap a little bit between the heroes that they want to get rid of. So the blue team decided this time that they would let Mephisto through the ban pattern, that they would rather deal with him than with Chromie, and the red team right away starts the picking up here. So Mephisto as a first pick, attempting also to shut any third ban or repick things down. Jojo and Anduin get now taken, so the blue team is already going for Team Blondie. You really seem to like Anduin. Crybaby. I mean, Anduin is French. Anduin is 100% French. It's like, honestly, it's actually kind of interesting. If you would ask me where the heroes are from, Anduin is 100% French. He could be Swedish. He could be Swedish because of his hair, but he's so whiny that he does have to be French. Johanna on the other side, I would probably say Polish. Polish sounds alright. Stukov, Russian. Tyrael, Mephisto I don't count. Like, Mephisto, like, that's like he's from the underworld or something. I don't know about Tyrael on the other hand. I mean, again, he's like always rocking that hoodie. We've seen him without the hoodie a couple of times, so he wants to be mysterious, but let that slide for now. But, yeah. Let's see what else is going to be picked. This is actually a fun game. Who would be German? I mean, Sergeant Hammer, duh. But yeah, we got a couple more Germans. Okay, in comes Blaze. And, well, what are we gonna get for the next ban? Now that Anduin is taken, ban out Genji, please. Thank you. Yeah, that light bomb engage was definitely a little bit too much for them to handle in the second. Well, they won in the third game, so it's fine. But, yeah, next double pick. Side laner, Dehaga is banned, Blaze is banned, you still have Urel, you still have Leo. Either one could be taken here. And of course they also need some range damage, they have nothing yet. It's kind of funny that yesterday Vala was banned out over and over and over again, and today we're not seeing that. Here's Vala and Maiev. And I'm already a little bit out here, where would Vala be? For some reason I look at Vala and also in my head it's like also Russia. I don't even know why. Probably because she's a little bit more on the badass side, but normally, like, most Russian women are blondes, aren't they? Like, dark hair in Russia? Like, I don't know. Most Russian women that I know are blonde. Where do we put Vala? No idea, honestly. Tychus, he's American. Tychus is American, 100%. Imperius is German. He's like walking around with his stick up his ass the entire time. He's 100% German. He's working in an office. He's some bureaucrat. He's working for the government. He's just always sitting there and like striding around. And yeah, he's 100% German. Tychus, he's American, especially with the suns out, guns out style. 100%. So yeah. Maiev, no clue. Last pick. I like the comp, by the way, with Vala here. And there we go. Leo, I talked about him a bit earlier, but now we have him. Yeah, good to go. I like it. A very different draft from what we saw in game number 3, and quite good for the action here. So, guys, let's go. Game number 4, another attempt by Nothing Else to Do to lock in the victory in this best of 5. And to send Girls Don't Like You packing into the losers bracket. Let's see if they can pull it off. Towers of Doom. Game number 4 on the left side. We got Nothing Else to Do with Maiev, Johanna, Vala, Leo, and Anduin. And Vala going straight into the auto attack style. Despite, I mean, they are the triple frontline more or less, so that can keep her safe. But let's see how many times Girls Don't Like You. I'm gonna be able to take her down. Red team with Tychus, Tyrael, Stukov. We got Mephisto and Imperius. Alright, let's go. Level 1, the Ardent Restoration. Does that mean we get the attacker style from him? Or how is he going to play this one out? I mean, we have seen, at least in the Western scene, a lot of Tyraels with Judgment as the level 10 talent. And they could use that too with Stukov, but of course they don't really have on the front line that much to play around with. Hello, Jojo? That got close. If there was another grenade ready for Tychus, that could have been the end of Johanna in a very quick kill in the early game. By now, we have 18 stacks for Vala, so yep, she's doing well. Top side already. Our 1 versus 1 is a little bit wild though that Tychus is taking the side lane. I would have expected either Tyrael or Imperius to rotate over. Traditionally, I would have said Imperius, but again, we've seen a lot of side lane Tyraels if you're trying to go into more of a damage style with your build. And we have, of course, also seen the main tank Imperius, so both would have been possible. But instead, they're just brawling it out down here as both of the pumpkin camps are now up. Very interesting laning that we're seeing from them, and I guess it's now Tychus and Mephisto that are trying to hold the mid and the top lane. Definitely a bit out of the box thinking what we now see from Girls Don't Like You. Yeah, having Tychus on that top lane is strange to say the least, but well, let's see. Maybe it works out for them. I gotta admit though, I doubt it, but well, we'll see. Meta in the Asian regions was always a little bit different, and that's especially true, I guess, for the Taiwanese and Chinese players. Especially the Chinese teams in the days of old were always very, very aggressive. Edward Gaming, for example. I mean, the good old days. Back then when we had one of the big offline tournaments also in Korea, so yeah. A lot of the Chinese top teams back then were known for their aggression. They also try to make a play here again with Mephisto. Oh, what a nice connect from Imperius. They get at least 1 kill. Maiev is down. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was really, really good. Now, all the way up at the top, we now got, yeah, Tychus still all alone. Leo is rotating a bit between the lanes. 50 stacks for Vala, so that already gets her into a nice position here with the stacking. But 1 kill to 0, that's exactly how the last map also opened up. Both of the camps were taken by the blue team, so they were able to steal both of the pumpkin camps. It's a nice start for them in regards to at least map control, but it seems that Mephisto is going to give them, yeah, maybe some trouble in the later stages. They're already slightly struggling against this. But now towards the top, we still have that side lane Tychus. It's wild to me. It's really wild. This is not something that you normally see. I'm looking at the minimap the entire time and I'm totally irritated seeing Tychus' picture there because I'm like, you shouldn't be there. There's two melee heroes down here at the bot lane, and either one of them could hold the top lane, but neither one does. So, yeah. But at least for now, it's kind of working. So we'll see what they can do. Now we have a 5 versus 5 at the bottom of the map as both of the teams are trying to fight for the altar. Still a slight lead in experience for Girls Don't Like You. I honestly wonder if they're renaming themselves. If they get to the grand final, do you think they rename themselves for the grand final and just call themselves Girls Like Us? Success makes sexy. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. So, now we got 1 kill to 0. 36 to 36, still fighting for this one. And, yep, let's see what they can do here. I mean, yeah, success definitely makes sexy. Again, if you have as much job experience as I do as a policeman, as a fireman, as an astronaut, a doctor, a real estate agent, then, yeah, at some point, I mean, success is a given, and there's just certain things that come with that. That is just a fact of life. So, we have the bigger they are on level 4, and here comes the battle, and some boys out of mana pretty heavily, and that's a lurking arm, money lurking arm, but Vala is down, Vala and Tyrael, oh my god, it's a disaster. Sukov has also fallen. The red team is losing heroes a lot faster, but with the main damage dealer gone, the blue team is struggling to get the final few touches in. They are able to take down Mephisto though, and they might even be able to get Imperius, nah, not quite. So he's able to get out. But Vala has now died at least once, which means that, yeah, not only are the 4 shots fired against the red team, but also Vala has now lost a little bit more of her attack speed. So the gambit hasn't quite paid off this early yet. Middle of the map, Leo's still rotating. They have now the lead in kills, the lead in points on the court, still pretty early in the game. And this is always a map that has been very much so about the late game and how much control you get in late game team fights. I mean, if these structures you can take down later on. But level 10 is definitely going to show us quite a lot here. We got the Swift Retribution, we got the Divine Vigor for Tyrael. And I want to see how aggressive they want to play these things out. Meta is for sure a bit different over here. with these teams. The question is always how much different. How wild are they gonna get? I mean, they picked the Suljin on the last map, right? And won with him too. So Suljin is now at 100% win rate here. 13 stacks for Tyrael's level 1. Vala's sitting at 100. So, good points, but again... Oh, poor Tychus. Oh yeah, they're just 5-manning the shit out of him. And he has no chance. Absolutely none. The poor man is getting murdered, and now the rotation, it's a bit too late. He really shouldn't engage in a 4 versus 5. That is not going to end well for them. But apparently they disagree, and now they lose Tyrael too. So, yeah, that definitely hurt. That's kind of unfortunate. Engaging into that battle didn't really help them. That means that level 10 is now a guarantee for the blue team. Or guaranteed to be there a lot faster. And yeah, that makes this pretty tricky. So this altar should be a shoo-in. It should be a total lock. I don't see a world in which the blue team doesn't take this one. We now have for Leo the Entomb, Vala with the Rain of Vengeance. The disc is out, and yep, they get it quite easily. Another 4 shots fired. We're still just taking baby steps here. 28 to 36. Up at the top, we have now also the pushback with the camp. And here comes the Sanctification. So Sanctification for Tyrael. And for a second I thought he might have to use it already. What is this shit with the drill? This is the second time now that we are seeing drill in the last 2 days. Why do these teams think that is a good talent? The first time that I saw it, I chalked it up and I was like, okay, the guy clearly misclicked. Especially since the entire build that he used before that was so focused on playing Odin. I mean, they even went Master Assassin. That happened yesterday, I think in the second best of 5. Picked Master Assassin and then went for Drill, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt and said, okay, that has to be a misclick. He fat-fingered it hard. But they are actually playing Drill. In which universe is Drill a thing? Like, this is wild. This is Vala down, by the way. Nicely done. Good job from Imperius here. They're following it up with another stun and try to get Leo too. Yeah, he makes it out. But these... Oh, that's a kill. Yep, Leo down. Great ult from Mephisto. But this is still shocking me. That they are going for the drill with these talent. I mean, not only is drill in and of itself shit, but also getting drill and then comboing it. I mean, if you go, for example, for, let's say, in the rhythm, you're going full auto attack style with Tychus. Then I understand it a little bit more that you're trying to get more value out of it. That's kind of old school. That's what happened in the alpha and in the beta. But drill is just not a thing. So this is getting wild. Now, to their credit, they have the same amount of kills as the opponent. Tychus is actually sitting with this damage. 20,000. Behind Mephisto, not too shabby. He's been obviously sitting on that side lane. There's altars now taken by the red team. But this seems to really be a thing. Again, this is the second time now. This seems to be part of the Chinese and Taiwanese meta that they love to play around drill. So we'll see if this is going to be a theme for the rest of the tournament as well, or if this is only a thing in the earlier rounds. But this is kind of wild. Tychus, by the way, with a grenade that he just dropped, he gets the kill on Maiev, so good for them. More and more pressure from them, which I like. They did a great job with pressuring the opponent in the first game already. Sorry, not in the first game, in the last game. Especially in the early stages. But, yeah. Tychus is doing his thing here again as a side laner. It's just wild. The meta is kind of crazy for these guys. They are playing side lane Tychus with a drill. Like, if that happens in a European game, I am honestly gonna call an ambulance assuming that one of the players had a stroke. But they seem to be totally happy with that. So, let's see. Time will tell how successful this is going to be, how much of an impact it has. The last time that drill was picked, it had pretty much 0 impact. But yep, drill is out. And they seem to be using the secret counter against it. They move away from it. The secret counter! But, well, Maiev is just not having a good game, is she now? That is the third time now that she's just getting crushed here. So they're moving away and they're getting just chased down one at a time. Imperius is having a mad impact on this game. Imperius has been prepping these kills over and over and over again. He's sitting at 29,000, nearly 30k. They just got... How many kills? I have 2 kills against them. And Imperius in particular has just facilitated one kill after another with these stuns that he's continuously getting, especially also against Maiev. Whenever she makes an engage, she is right there for the taking. And Imperius says, alright, let's go for it. So now 5 shots are fired and that puts them ahead. 23 to 28. Yeah, Jojo and Anduin haven't fallen yet. Maiev, on the other hand, has already been dropped 3 times. And I am pretty curious if the red team is gonna get their act together here. And again, these guys had a 2-0 lead and lost on the 3rd map. That in and of itself is not a big deal. You know that if you're that far ahead, you have 3 match points. But now, on match point number 2, Girls Don't Like You are again putting on a show. So, I kind of like that. They are 1.5 levels ahead right now, which means an early level 16 for them. They try again for that fight. I don't think that sanctification was needed. It was already pretty clear that that fight wouldn't really happen the way that the blue team envisioned. So yeah, they pressed their ults very early. That's also true for Imperius. I mean, they got the kill. So they get their kill against Leoric at least. I'm not quite sure that Nothing Else to Do is playing this as well as they could. But Girls Don't Like You. They are very, very cautious. They go full on better safe than sorry in these fights and just sacrifice their ults. Which I guess is fine. I mean, so far the game is going their favor. They went for the drill. The drill is out again. They're drilling the bell tower. But not for long. So, yeah, that didn't really do a whole lot. But boy, Imperius with those lock-ins. Mephisto with tons of damage. I think he's still top damage in the game, if I'm not mistaken. He's at 50,000 now. Oh, yeah. He's far ahead here. Very far ahead. Tychus is more so responsible for the siege damage with the rotations that he has. But this is now the triple altar phase, and this is where it becomes really annoying for Nothing Else to Do, because they don't have level 16. So they don't have level 16, and they somehow have to now try and get at least a few shots connected. And they make that happen. Yeah, he's trying to interrupt again. They have half a level. This is not going to work out. Maiev is dead. That was, I mean, oh, beautiful pull from Anduin. That was still very, very risky. So 10 shots fired against the blue team's core, 13 to 25. They're not out of this yet, but I would be lying if I'd say that this is easy to recover from. They need level 16, and then they need to win a team fight. And a big one too. I mean, maybe it's just like a moral thing, you know? Oh, yep, there's another 3 shots. That's 3. Maybe it's more like a statement, you know? Like it's a taunt. It's like they're not relying on sprays and on B-steps. They just pick drill and they just signal to the other team, you guys are so shit, we can pick drill and we're still gonna drop you. Maybe that's the thing. The BM ult. It's like, look at us. We're drilling it up, and it is all that we need to kick your ass. Yeah, that's how they're doing it. They're demoralizing the opposition. I mean, so far it's working, but now they're losing Tyrael, but they kill Vala again. And boy, is Imperius doing work. A 1-for-3 trade, and the explosion of Tyrael actually took a target down. So, yeah, this is a gap that is getting wider by the minute. And this is just such a disaster now for Nothing Else to Do. If they lose this one, the next game is going to be really difficult to focus on. If you have a 2-0 lead, you don't expect to go to game 5. So, yeah. But with that, we now have 200 stacks for Vala. She has Manticore. She's died twice, no, 3 times, which means 15% of the attack speed bonus is gone now. Still 52,000 damage. But now, look at the minimap. 2 of the bell towers are converted, and they could lose the game right here. If both of those altars are taken, it's over, and Vala has just fallen. Yeah, this is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. Tyrael is already channeling on the right side. That's 6 shots fired for sure. They're gonna be... No, they're gonna be down to 1. The Pumpkins made it through too. The Pumpkins made it through. Single point. Stukov is dead, but so are Jojo and Leo. And there's the Sanctification and the channel. And this is game, ladies. Game number 4 goes to Girls Don't Like You. And that's a win. We're going to game number 5. Reverse sweep is in reach. GG. Game number 5. Here we are. Boys, girls, we are in a reverse sweep situation. We could have Girls Don't Like You pull ahead and move to the winner bracket semi-final. So Chromie gets banned again. Nothing else to do is not very happy with how this is playing out. Again, they were 2-0 ahead. If you are 2-0 in any best of 5 series, you pretty much in the back of your head, you think, okay, guys, we got this. But not so much. It's Infernal Shrines now. That's why we have some adjustments on the bans. And that gives us a Diablo ban. Alright. Mephisto. Like again, I talked about this already a little bit. So in game number 3, what they did is they banned out Mephisto, and Girls Don't Like You responded by picking Chromie. Chromie murdered them more or less, which resulted in game number 4, nothing else to do, changing their ban pattern a little bit. They got rid of Carrigan again, but instead of banning out Mephisto, they banned out Chromie, which right away resulted in Girls Don't Like You saying, you know what, then we're gonna pick Mephisto now. So this time they're trying to ban both of the range damage dealers, and all I want from this is now a Carrigan pick. That would be kind of funny if they're taking Carrigan now and just really toy with them around the bans that they are coming in here. But yeah, you can see nothing else to do, adapting as best as they can. They're even starting with the Stukov pick here now. Okay. Alright, that's an interesting one too. Stukov obviously not bad by any means, and there's Carrigan. Yeah, she's already there. It's honestly funny. They're really playing around the band so hard now, it's ridiculous. And they pick Anduin too, so it's not only a potential light bomb engage with Carrigan, but even more important, when Carrigan engages, as long as Anduin positions properly, he should always be able to assist her if she goes a little bit too deep, so she can play a lot more aggressive now with this particular comp. But yeah, I like that. I mean, just mentally, just psychologically, nothing else to do is probably in a very awkward spot now. So we get Hogga, we get Johanna. It is wild. This is what I love about best of 5s and tournaments in general, that throughout the best of 5 series, if you go to map number 4 and map number 5, you have like a mini meta evolving between the two teams where they're really starting to ban and just to get rid of reference picks on the other side. And it's not only meta that matters, but also what are the preferences of the opposing team. Vala gets banned out too. Makes perfect sense to me. I don't think that they would have gone for an auto attack style with this. You can, but I would have assumed that if you pick Vala on Infernal Shrines, it's still a multi-shot build. We've seen that from Nick, from other players, not only in Europe, but also North America, how many stacks you can get here, and it's just crazy. Tychus, yes, Odin, still very, very powerful. They were probably afraid of the drill. That's why they banned Odin. It was like, Tychus on Infernal Shrines. Oh my god, they're gonna try and drill us again. So yeah, they banned him immediately. Drill just got too much value on the last map. And we get a Li Ming. This is the second time now that one of the teams in this tournament has picked Li Ming on Infernal Shrines. Not a very popular pick in general when you're looking towards Europe and North America, maybe outside of Battlefield of Eternity. But on Infernal Shrines, she's definitely not a high priority. So now we have her here together with Murden. So Murden and Carrigan can both make the engage. And that gives us the last 2 picks for the blue team. It's now or never, boys. This is the last chance. Arthurs! The fuck? Arthurs and Sylvanas tag team. Okay, baby. Let's go. Arthur's against Carrigan, I guess? Trying to slow her down a little bit and control her? Okay, let's see if that works for them. Also, more position on the shrines. But yeah, meta in this region is wild. And there's Suljin. Now we get Suljin again. Boy, oh boy, what a game. This is game number 5. The winner moves on to the winner bracket semi-final. Again, there's roughly $4,000 on the line here in this tournament. And the loser will drop down into the loser's bracket, but should be a wild one. Infernal Shrines, 5th map coming up right now. Game number 5, the final map in the series. Hogga, Arthurs, and Johanna, played by the blue team with Stukov assisting with heals and Sylvanas for the only range damage now. We get for the red team, now first of all they get their Carrigan, they have Li Ming behind that, and they get their Suljin too, with Anduin and Murden rounding out the draft. Gotta say, this is kind of funny. So Suljin played once more, and we have that Carrigan now. It would just be crazy if they would really pull off that victory here. Take 3 games in a row. I love the synergy on the mounts. I talked about this in one of the previous games already, but this is just super sexy. It's like real fun. I like that a lot. So yeah, good on them. Very well done. But yeah, let's see what we're gonna get. Again, for everybody that hasn't caught that yet, this is a tournament that plays on the Asian server. We have a lot of Chinese, Taiwanese, and Korean players participating in it. Hence the changes and the differences in the meta. Now, we are currently in the first round, the round of 8 in the winner bracket. All of these matches are best of 5. And we'll see who is able to advance. We had some fantastic games already, and especially from the favorites. There's a couple of teams that run former HGC players too. So very curious to see what's going to happen once that we're seeing winner bracket final and everything else. And hey, look at that, Arthurs! Oh yeah, baby! Hail to the king!
Hail to the king, baby!
That was a good one. Kerrigan definitely underestimating that situation way too much. And yep, that was pretty sweet. So, job well done. And yeah, let's see what else we're gonna get here. I mean, right now, we already have another camp about to be taken. So let's see what they can do with that. Over here on the right side, they're already starting to do their thing. And take that. Camp 4 camp pretty much down to the bottom of the map. We're now also having another one taken. So 2 camps go over to the blue team. One of the Khaldor camps is currently locked in by Girls Don't Like You. Yeah, but they got... To be honest, now that I think about it, like, if you actually think about this too, for the last 3 games, what has happened every single time is that the team that locked in the first blood was also the team that won the game. So if that still holds true here, then the blue team is going to take the series after all. Yeah, that would be a little bit annoying. Honestly, it's a little bit weird when you have all of a sudden the 5th map coming up, because if you have a 2-0 lead and then your opponent wins 3 in a row, then you're obviously always on a spot where you're like, oh my god, how did we not even win a single one of these 3 games? How could we not make that happen? But then at the same time, when you are in the opposite position where you win 2 games, you force map number 5, and that's the one that you lose. They're like, hey, why did we put all that effort in the first place? So yeah, this is always a heartbreaker. When it goes to game number 5 in a situation like this, it's always a bit of a heartbreaking spot for one of the 2 teams. But they're gonna try to do what they can here. Now we go a little bit old school on Liming on level 4. We got the Dominance again. That was like the most popular talent for a long time. These days you don't see it all that often anymore. But the theory behind it is of course that you're trying to be a bit more aggressive and really capitalize on those kills. But yeah, that's something that has been played in the old days, I mean, non-stop. It was like the go-to talent. With the first try now popping up, nobody is going to the side lane for experience. Everybody's just trying to get with level 4 talents the objective, so nobody's waiting for level 7. Kerrigan is a little bit low, but connects the combo, and Jojo... Oh, Meridian! This is not able to get that final auto attack. Oh god, that could have taken them down here. But with that, we now have still a dominant position on the Shrine for Girls Don't Like You. The red team is pulling slightly ahead, but the battle is definitely not over. Blue team trying to re-engage again. Mirrodin jumping out. Hogga pogging, but well, that didn't really help him too much here. So they're tapping the fountain now, trying to go for round 2. 24 to 28 stacks. This is a close one. They're gonna get really close here. Couple of combos again from Liming here. Also, we got the Stormbolt build from Mirrodin on level 1 and level 4. No kill thus far, but that's going to change any second now. Kerrigan, first one to fall. Mirrodin jumps out, and the Arcane Punisher for nothing else to do. What a series. Oh boy. This tournament is fun. I said it already, but this is real fun. So now we got Rune Tap on level 7. For Arthurs for a little bit more sustain here too. We got the Growing Infestation. If you've ever seen a talent with a bit of sexual innuendo, then it's definitely this one. I mean, that is a pickup line and a half that Stukov is rocking here on level 7. A little bit disgusting, of course, too, but still, Blizzard, I see what you did there. I don't think it's cool, but yeah.
Hashtag notice me, senpai. So, we got with level 7 now also the heavy impact in. We got Calamity, obviously. Stukov is doing his best to top the team off time and time again, but with the growing infestation and also the low blow, he's focusing heavily on the lurking arm and trying to just cut off the opponent from entering those shrines and assisting with after any stun, especially when Arthas comes in with a Howling Blast too, to try and lock him down there. Now, late game, again, is where theoretically at least, Suljin could shine, and he did so in game number 3 when they picked him last. So there is a chance that he's going to be able to pressure not only Jojo but also Arthas. Now Johanna can of course play around the blind a little bit at least, so that would help. But I like what we're seeing from the blue team in regards to their rotations. And I have honestly no idea why the red team didn't even try to react. It seemed like they just gave up on the fort when they saw the rotation hitting, because they just didn't have enough time to rotate down here. So with the help of Sylvanas, we have nothing else to do dropping one fort very early in the game. They're also pulling ahead in experience, partly because of that. But very, very curious to see what's going on with level 10 abilities hit. So, down to the bottom of the map. We still have them already preparing for potential gank. They might be able to get there, but without vision they realize, okay, some trouble is brewing. So they started to move back. We got the Legion, we got the Blessed Shield, level 10, only available for the blue team, which means that girls don't like you, they have to play it a bit safe. A lot of stuns coming out now too. Not only the Blessed Shield has been taken, but we have a Wailing Arrow. We also have on top of that the Shockwave for Hogger. Muradin is... yeah, jump out there, my friend, because that is getting a little bit too close. I understand that you're trying to buy time and piss them off a bit, but you shouldn't overdo it here. That's also a bold move. Trying to go for the camp just as they are about to hit level 10. I mean, it should work. They got the push power. So they are stealing the camp away. Alright, good timing. But I could have a little bit more soaking. That could have been a level 10 fight over this bad boy. Either way, it is 10 versus 10 now. The camp has successfully been taken. Muradin is going full Lauber and drops the Haymaker. We got the Taz Dingo again on level 10. And only Kerrigan has made a move yet. I would still assume Ultralisk. Getting the additional stun out is always kind of nice. Or are they actually swapping that into a Maelstrom? They are! So, yep, they're going for Maelstrom here. Okay. For the Shrine fight. Let's see how much value she's going to get out of that. Shrine is active, so round 2. We got 2 kills to 0. Girls unlike you haven't gotten a single one. And, yep. Off we go. Oh, nice damage against Arthas right from the get-go. But Muradin is also getting a little bit crushed here. More and more stacks now for Suljin, but he's nowhere near the amount of stacks that he had in game number 3. That's getting a little bit of a chance now, though. Kerrigan focused hard. Anduin not in a position where he could help out. Kerrigan went a little bit too deep, and that was the end of Kerrigan. Yeah, that put a quick stop to the aggression from the red team. They were hoping that they could carry the momentum a bit into the opponent's backline. We're obviously trying to move in with everything they had, and once that Kerrigan is in the thick of things, a well-placed light bomb could also help, but she was super isolated and the blue team focused on her immediately. They all just turned and dropped her within a second. So that was good coordination. And it results in another Punisher for the blue team, which is now pushing through the mid lane. And that should honestly be the end of this fort, because they got a Sylvanas too, and they have a level 13 talent advantage. With Stukov now adding the It Hungers over here. We got the Biting Cold too. And yeah, this is not looking good at all. With Sylvanas, they can push this even further. Could theoretically try and take the entire wall down. Instead, they're currently dropping down to the bottom of the map. But it's a 1.5 level lead, 3 kills to 0. They have map dominance. Should probably at some point take these walls down. That's exactly what they're doing right now, trying to deny some vision to the opponent. Looking at damage, 14,000 for Li Ming and for Suljin. 16,000 for Hogger, so it's not really that crazy. We're pretty much only 2 big team fights, 1 for each objective. But yeah, we'll very quickly see if the red team is going to get their act together and coordinates these attacks a bit better. Because at the end of the day, they really need to get some Kerrigan value here. Again, think about how the ban patterns in the last 3 maps has played out. Kerrigan was always banned out. This time they let it through. She was first picked. So they have to get value out of her, or this is just a fully wasted opportunity. The problem for her is really that she is going to get focused whenever she makes a hard engage, which isn't really a problem as long as Anduin is able to save her. But yeah, that definitely didn't happen in the last encounter. I mean, far from it. And it was nowhere near here. But yeah, so they are still roaming the map now. It's 13 versus 13, so it's at least even talents. Gives us also a bit more wiggle room for Li Ming with the Illusionist. But yeah, they're trying now for Ogre. Good damage, but not enough to take him down. We got the volatile power for Kerrigan. And eventually they have to get some kills. Yeah, so eventually they have to make a move there. 18 stacks for Muradin. Arthas is now sitting topside. Went, as I said, into the biting cold here on level 13. He is sitting at 103 stacks on his level 4. The next team fight should probably complete that. And a bit of aggression from... oh, there comes Kerrigan. Tries to get the combo. They can't get Stukov. They get Stukov. Li Ming coming in. And the double kill. Li Ming, baby. The resets and the damage. Yeah, Stukov nearly got away, but then just in the last moment, coming in with a kill on the ult. There's Li Ming, she drops him, and they get a second kill on Jojo. Finally, a bit of momentum for Curls Don't Like You. They were able to close the gap in this best of 5 series, force map number 5, and finally they're getting a bit more momentum too. So as it stands, level 15 for each team. And with Kerrigan topside, yeah, she's getting those minion waves obliterated pretty quickly. We have the camps up on the map. So they made it back into the game. They're obviously going to try and get level 16 for the next fight. And once that those shrines up, that's what we're going to see here. Suljin also increased his stacks. Kind of important because he crossed the 15 stack, stack threshold. Now he has the range increase, the first quest reward. If he is able to get over to 30 in the team fight, then he's going to get the double cleave. Goes for the exact same build, by the way, that we saw previously, so no stacking on 7. Instead, Ferocity is his weapon of choice here. Muradin forcing Hogga to jump out. 16 is available, but only for nothing else to do, so they have the advantage here. It's a bit uncomfortable and unfortunate for Girls Don't Like You. They're trying to get there, of course, but the next minion wave is still a bit far out. But they're doing as much as they can here, so Muradin gets locked down, should pop Avatar. Doesn't have it though. So Muradin is dead, but so is Hogga, and that was important. Kerrigan! No, dead again. Blessed Shield is out. Uh-oh. The pain train is coming, baby. This is gonna hurt. Not only is Anduin going to die, but Suljin is also going to get crushed. Yep, Arthas is coming in and says like, you know what, I'm going to take both of you. Look at him, he nearly went for Li Ming too, and she realizes that she is in real trouble here. So 4 heroes down, 7 kills to 3, and an easy objective for nothing else to do. Ah, boy oh boy. Bit of an adjustment, by the way, the No Mercy in level 60 now, so he definitely changed the build up slightly. Whereas we see the Glyph of Faith. We got the Mirror Ball here. They started a bit late into the fight because, well, level 16 just dropped late for them. It dropped after we already had the main tank eliminated. But that was pretty unfortunate. I am not a fan of Haymaker. Haymaker in general, we've seen sometimes cool plays, and don't get me wrong, when you make it work, when you get that isolation and then you can kill the target, it always looks cool. Every single good playmaker play looks awesome. But generally speaking, if you are already relying on more or less one melee, I mean, they got Kerrigan, but again, she's not really a proper side lane tank, right? If you're only relying on one big frontliner, then having Avatar there is just better. And they're blowing Muradin up over and over again. So right now, there's another push coming. Kerrigan has died 4 times. Muradin has only fallen once, but again, he's been struggling. The push through the bottom of the map. Kerrigan isn't even here. She's at the top lane, pushed out 1 camp still. But now they're losing the bottom wall without any I mean, there's nothing they can do. So here they're coming in for the first keep, and I would be a little bit shocked if they can't take this down. Because, yes, the Punisher is going to get obliterated in a second, but that keep just doesn't stand a chance. So now that we're 14.5 minutes into game number 5, the first keep is gone. And not a single fort has been eliminated on the side of nothing else to do. Blue team must feel really good here. They struggled in game 3 and 4, but now they are back on track. 31 stacks for Suljin.
Again, nowhere near the amount of stacks that he was at in game number 3, but still, he has now the full quest reward, so the double swing is ready. That's going to help them on those shrine fights for sure, but they need to blow some targets up. Now, they're only a level behind. That can still be a big issue, considering that on the next objective, we can expect nothing else to do to have level 20 available. So, there is a top fort, though. So the next shrine spawning here, even if you lose it, you might even be able to save your keep. You're going to lose the fort for sure. But you can still play this a little bit slow. Let's not forget what happened on Shire. Shire was pretty much toward the mid, towards the late game, the playground for the blue team. And then 1-2 team fights towards the end. That's where Girls Don't Like You changed it up dramatically, were able to win team fights, and thanks to the massively high death timers, they could go straight for keep and core. And this might happen here again. So this is something that definitely is still stuck in the heads of the blue team, and they have to play around this a little bit. Now they get their level 20, that's to be expected, and now the red team has to make some difficult decisions. Because I don't think that they have no chance of getting to level 20 in time. Shrine should be announced very soon, and unless I'm mistaken on the timing, there is just no way to get to level 20. This is an entire level right now. I mean, if they get another couple of minion waves, maybe they have a shot here. So far, blue team is not pushing their lead. They could go for the top fort though, and they should. If they take the top fort out already, that would be big. Nobody at the bot lane to get the experience, by the way. Howling Blast misses. That could have been problematic. But yeah, they try to take this down. And that will change the equation slightly. But I gotta say, they are way closer than I thought. So there's a lot more time than I expected. And with another minion wave now coming through at the bottom of the map and in the mid lane, they're gonna get to 20. They actually have enough time. Alright. Didn't expect that to be a thing, but they will have level 20 for that fight. They have to... or not, because now it's a trap. They're flanking. They're flanking in, and it's a 5 versus 4, 20 versus 16 talents. They try to come in with a light bomb. Kerrigan gets focused. Kerrigan is dead. Nicely done. Great move by Nothing Else to Do. There's the shockwave. It's another kill. They're losing Anduin. They might just go for the core here. They should go for the core. That was really well done. They realized that the blue team, sorry, the red team was too far out. Oh no, Jojo! That changes things a little bit. Li Ming! The fuck? She nearly gets the kill there. Is able to get out of the fight. As long as they keep everybody safe here, they're going to be in a decent spot. This is getting wild. Muradin, no! That's the moment when you hate your life for not picking Avatar. Yeah, the death of Muradin, that's a bit different. Yeah, I don't know. That might have been the nail in the coffin. But initially, I really liked the idea. They saw the red team at the bottom of the map venturing out a little bit too deep because they wanted to get the experience. So they flanked in. It was a 5 versus 4. They got multiple kills. But then they lose heroes to Li Ming. Now, the kill against Muradin, because it was so delayed, that is going to have a big impact because, well, what do you do now? You have level 20, so that's great, but what else can you do? We have Amani Resilience, that's huge for Suljin, and it seems that they are not going for the battle at the top. So they are apparently willing to give up the Punisher, wait for Muradin, and then just try to defend the top keep. This is still possible. Blue team, I like what they did at the bottom of the map, and I think they could have maybe, if they played it a bit... I mean, after the initial kill, if they played it a bit safer, they could have maybe gone core. But either way, that fight that they forced helped them to get an uncontested Punisher. So that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. The move that they made was the correct one. In an ideal scenario for them, they could have gone for the core directly, but losing some of their heroes to Li Ming shut that down. We have a double camp in the middle, so likely this fort is going to fall, but it's all about the top lane now, because this is where the game might be decided. Girls Don't Like You, they have to put up a massive defense now, and it's not impossible for them. But let's keep Sylvanas in mind here too. She can really make this even more of a problem. There's the bait already. They're trying to bait him out deep. Muradin! Yep, that avatar is still missing. High dwarf by dwarf. So, yep, he's down. And that is probably all she wrote here. Yeah, it seems that girls don't like you might not be able to pull off that reverse sweep after all. They won game 3 and 4, but game number 5 is not looking good for them. The blue team, after winning the first 2 maps, now they're making a big play here for the victory in the best of 5. Light bomb, great, but is it enough? I don't think so. Kerrigan gets focused again. Are we getting some resets for Liming? It doesn't look likely. Ford in the mid lane has, by the way, fallen on the blue team side, but the shield on the core has also been destroyed, and now they're losing the game slowly but steadily. Suljin is trying to do what he can, is taking the catapults down, at least trying to, but that doesn't change that the core is down to 30, down to 20. This is over. A 3-2 victory for the blue team as they advance to the winner bracket semi-final. GG.